I feel very deflated.
It kind of surprised me.
Okay, fine. That doesn't work either. So this HOH thing, not as easy as it looks. I thought it'd be a breeze. I thought I'd eat my snacks. This is going to be a lot more complicated than I thought.
No, wait, what? Yas Queen.
Hello and good evening. It is Sunday, August 14th, 2022. And, just a short time ago, we finished watching the Week 6 nominations episode for Big Brother 24. I guess it would be episode 17 overall. I'm Dave Mader, joined with co-host Jaemeel Robinson here on this Sunday evening to break down this episode, talk about what we saw here, which was a big HOH competition coming off of the Thursday sort of cliffhanger, if you will, breaking that all down and getting into our HOH and eventually our nominations here, of course. Jaemeel, how are you tonight?
I'm all right. Such clever wordplay. Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Yeah, they were.
You.
Oh yes, they were hanging off the edge of whatever you want to call it, Jaemeel. The Earth, the flat Earth.
Yes.
Wearing the things. The competition had some interesting voiceovers from this conspiracy theorist man. I didn't pull any, but
that looks really awful, dude.
Yeah. But this is before it got messy. This is when it was still clean. This is when, so we pick up in the episode where even before Jasmine fell, which we of course saw at the end of the last episode. So there's a couple of minutes of overlap here before it starts getting messy. Of course, you'll remember Michael not eligible to compete. He was the outgoing HOH where Daniel was evicted. Remember Daniel?
Kyle said that after Daniel made his speech, he wished he said he had it at the time, but he didn't want to say it because he didn't want to. But he was compelled to say that. Wow, another petulant outburst by a 30-year-old cosplayer. But of course, he didn't say that. I wish he did. Anything snarky is what I wanted, and I didn't get that. I didn't get enough of it.
Talking about snarky, Jaemeel. Yes,
idiot sandwich.
An idiot. I'm making an idiot sandwich. I believe that was in the goodbye messages, right?
Yeah, that was from Michael.
Dan, close one eye. Your head is right between these pieces of bread, and that means I just made an idiot sandwich.
That was snarky too, Jaemeel. There was a moment here tonight where, like, in this wall competition, where Taylor, who was right next to Terrence, tries to give him some encouragement. Right? She's like, "Go, go," and Terrence throws it right back into her face. He says, "Like,
Please stop talking to me.
Please stop talking to me."
I don't know what to think. You've never seen someone have like societal leprosy, and it's like Taylor has that. I've never seen someone just so disliked by people for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot of that going out, and we got to talk about sort of how Taylor, who she is as a player, winning this HOH tonight, Jaemeel, and I'm quite frankly, I'm a bit disappointed in what we're getting here. On a few levels, but we'll talk through the competition as it played out and who kind of went out in what order here. Great moment tonight too, Jaemeel, with the Vulcan salute.
Yeah.
From Taylor, that she was the competition had sort of an alien invader theme, and that was a reference there.
She seems practiced in terms of that pose.
Right. This Big Brother is a Viacom production, so therefore they don't have any copyright issues doing that in a Big Brother.
So you like that from Taylor? You're like,
oh sure.
Okay, there you go. Because I don't believe Terrence is going to be doing that.
No,
Terrence
I don't think so.
Too busy, remixing all the time.
DJ Showtime? Do you mean DJ Showtime?
I feel very deflated.
Yeah. Okay. And so, but when in this episode, Jaemeel, when Jasmine goes out, we're starting to get like every time Jasmine's acting sort of however you want to describe it.
Petulant.
Maybe, or just sort of like the way she talks in the diary room, and maybe in real life, right? Turner was kind of, going on about her.
Jasmine fell off so fast, all I can imagine in her voice is her saying, I fell off quicker than a mudslide on a hot Mississippi day. I fell off faster than a jackrabbit running from a turtle in Mississippi. I fell off quicker than the best rack of ribs you'd ever seen falls right off the bone. That was something she would definitely say.
Yes.
This wasn't my comment.
Yeah. What do you make of Turner's ongoing narrative around Jasmine?
He is just so fed up with this woman that he's just like he can't help but just be snarky anytime he's in the DR. The dude, he's done. He just wants her not to exist anymore in his vicinity.
Right. And ultimately tonight, even though she's not in the alliance, the bigger leftovers alliance, and she is a target for the house, but she's specifically not a target for Taylor, because Taylor refuses to target her because she doesn't want to target a black woman, not just now, but at any point.
I really don't want to put up a black woman. Jasmine is not on my radar because coming into this game, I said that I would not nominate a black woman. I can't do it, no matter how contentious our relationship is. That's just not the game I'm here to play. But if it's up to me, the jury house is going to get its resident DJ soon.
Of course, she's talking about Terrence there. So black men are fair game here. Black women, not so much. But she'll never put up Jasmine. She's saying at any point in this game.
Black men have had a better path to end than black women, who typically are maligned a lot more. So
right.
I can understand that. It's also Jasmine's birthday this week too, and
okay,
that also plays a factor in why she is not being nominated for this week.
Okay, they don't mention that part in the episode.
They don't.
Specifically Jasmine's birthday.
They'll come up in the next episode a lot.
But the other thing,
spoilers.
It's not just here with Jasmine, who I think she, and Turner points out, Jasmine would not do the same for Taylor, but that's not Taylor's point. Taylor, but I think that there's, I can understand a little bit of frustration on the behalf of the Leftovers Alliance, who have been trying to rally around her, and she's like, they're like, you don't owe anything to that side of the house. And Taylor made a lot of promises. That's how it was portrayed in the episode, not just to Jasmine per se, but also to Alyssa, Indy. She kind of gets into a conversation here with her alliance, saying there's only so many options you can put up, and she wants to put up her own alliance members as pawns and things like that because she doesn't want to have to go back on her promises.
But all things being fair, would it be different than Kyle? Kyle's made a lot of promises too. Same thing with Joseph. The amount of promises Joseph has made, especially that is to the detriment of the alliance. I'm just saying from this non-bestie situation, I think that a lot of people are going to be put in some uncomfortable positions, and Taylor, despite not necessarily agreeing with her point of view this week, I think that people are complaining from glass houses, in my opinion. Their weeks, previous weeks weren't as straightforward as were very straightforward in comparison to this week, especially with the bestie twist coming to an end and the lack of power that Taylor has, right? Taylor being seemingly such a people pleaser, of course you would think that she would just automatically jump to the chance to finally be able to give the gift of safety so that people would actually be able to talk to her or not say something negative all the time, which seems to be the only thing that happens, right? But you're right. I'm not saying that equals good gameplay or what we're seeing is good gameplay at all, right? I've rationalized the situation that is occurring.
And I'm just kind of expressing that watching, Taylor's definitely been an underdog in this season. Her story has been very compelling. And I think that, while tonight in this edit, she looked very noble, she's almost like too nice for Big Brother.
Yep.
She's got her moral, and she wants to be everyone's friend, and she doesn't want to have to go back on anything she says here. And so she's kind of like, we'll see like long term, if she's meant for this. I'm not, I'm a little just let down, I guess. I'm feeling like Terrence.
I feel very deflated.
I only feel a little deflated, not very deflated. But Taylor, she was it was a little different for her.
Being HOH is proving to be a lot harder than I thought.
Would you prefer that she's at least aware that she's not just making the best decisions, as opposed to Daniel, who was just so completely like out of his mind and delusional at points in his game, where, like, remember, like, one of the number one rules: don't lie in the DR, please. Don't lie to me, right? Tell me how it is. You can lie to other house guests, don't lie to viewers, right? And at least we're getting an honest dialogue in the DR about the situation, as opposed to, this is the best thing that's happened. Don't worry. Nicole and I have the votes, and it's smooth sailing from here to the end of the game.
I think I guess I'm looking from, in terms of the story I've been watching this season with Taylor, I think I would rather see her like put her boot on the neck here and like go for the kill. And I think, that's the only thing. I was happy to see her win. But.
I don't know if we're ever going to get that. Like, maybe against Terrence, but
right.
I don't think she's ever gotten enough power throughout the game to feel comfortable to do that, because the worry would be if she does anything where it's just so cutthroat and so like you're like, yes, get them. She's not going to have power next week, and like, they're going to come for her directly with everything they have, and there's no twist to kind of save her. What we know is the twist might even be more of a detriment to her in her situation, right? So I guess it's easy for me to automatically think caution is the best course of action because I know, but you're being a lot more living in the present, right? And so I Dave, I understand your position is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, and fair enough. And like, so I wanted to harp on it too, because we're gonna see how the rest of this week plays out. And I was definitely critical at times of Michael at this time last week when he was after his nominations episode. And it ended up
like Michael can win out though. Michael has proven that he can win out, so he can be a little bit,
Yeah. What you're seeing from Michael is a little bit more impressive of gameplay. I thought with this Taylor, in terms of what I saw in the edit tonight, it was a little sloppier, maybe a little bit naive, and that's all. But let's get back to the episode itself.
You're 100% right, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. So let's talk about the competition itself. So, we've seen this before in many seasons of Big Brother. They get sprayed with whatever it is, paint or it's slime, different colors. They get hit with like projectiles. They look like they hurt quite a bit. They go out here in different orders, but it's what I guess surprised me in the episode is how much of the episode this competition took on,
especially with how short it was in general overall.
Yeah,
like if it took like 4 hours. Right, that's a lot of meat to kind of work from, right? But like this being like 56 minutes, it was a grand total of like.
I think so. I think like not even quite an hour. We knew on Thursday night, not that long after the episode had aired, so it was it seemed like a little bit maybe they didn't have a lot of other thing to go here on. Maybe a lot of the stuff with Taylor kind of wavering on her nominations was overinflated compared. Maybe it was a quiet couple days and they didn't have a ton to work from here. And they did intercut this competition with some other things. Like they showed us in the episode that this other alliance from the other side of the house, with Jasmine, Indy, and Alyssa, along with Joseph and Kyle. They've been talking about fly swatters, Jaemeel. Well, what about the 5 swatters?
Oh Lord, okay. They should have went with the convenience store. I wish they were able to convince them to be the convenience store. That would have been awesome. But that's a stupid name. Don't put a number in your name. All right, please.
There's 5 of them.
So what happens if one of them gets voted out?
5 and fly kind of rhyme. Well, they don't really rhyme.
They don't. Dave, on a scale of 1 to 10, what does this name warrant a rating?
Well, I would challenge you to look at those smiles there on Kyle and Alyssa's face as the name was presented to them, and they're like, "That is gold." 5 swatters. Jasmine, you have done it again. You are a genius.
The last few weeks, I've had a lot of friends go home, and honestly, now I need to pay attention to my game to get me to the end. So it's time to make an alliance. It's going to help me make that happen.
Right?
Stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, and Joseph here was like, "Well, yeah, I'm in it, but not really."
Oh yes, I've got into the 5 swatters, and like not voluntarily. Like I think it's been like forced on me.
Yeah,
my allegiance will always be to the leftovers.
He's a leftovers for life. For life. That's right.
It's a terrible name. And then Terrence kinda is in it, but not.
Well, he's not one of the 5, so he'd be the 6th swatter if he's definitely with that side, and they're definitely going to use him, but they would cut him loose just as quickly. Like there's no loyalty to Terrence, but I think that side recognizes that he's not like he's a potential number for them. But they also think that Joseph and Kyle are with them, and they're clearly not. They're definitely not.
Clearly,
yeah. We know that they're not, right? Yeah, we see it. Speaking of Terrence, he went around this part of the edit, 16 minutes and 55 seconds.
I don't even think it's like clearly to us. I think it's clearly to them. Like, I don't know how, with the amount of evidence there, that they can't see that Kyle and Joseph are with the other side of the house. Like the votes alone, like doing the counting of the votes.
Yeah, not that bright. I think ultimately. There was a lot of different rounds here in the competition. There was a round, Jaemeel, where they got sprayed here with Sasquatch. They look like feathers, but they said they were fur.
That doesn't look like fur.
Yeah, it just got weirder and weirder, and then eventually they sprayed them here with like this last one, the pink one, I think, and Indy went out. So the final 3 we end up here with are. Because the whole thing about Indy going out, she was the only non-leftover here. So once she went out, Turner went out, and eventually, like Joseph goes out here. Taylor turns to both Joseph and Kyle in the episode here, Jaemeel, and she says, "Are you a feminist, boys?"
That's great. I'm sorry.
I think if they are feminists, Taylor, then they should believe in equality here, and that you should win this competition fairly openly. You don't want this handed to you.
You use every advantage you can get fairly to win.
So no shame in making that pitch to them.
No way. No way. You know what? If it was like, please, you guys, I really want this. I really want this really badly. Is a lot worse than, guys, are you feminists? Right? That's like having a conversation and it just goes in a particular direction.
Just appealing to maybe that sensibility, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't seem serious though. Come on.
Yeah, but Joseph didn't want this. He said, if I won this, then I'd have to play this 5 swatters. I'd have to play this middle ground thing. And I think ultimately Kyle knows that too. So but he has some reservations here in the competition because he doesn't know if she would target Alyssa or not. So he, and Kyle wants his cake and eat it too, where he has his big alliance, but he also has his showmance, right? And he's got to hold on to that for as long as he can. Which
Yep.
who can blame a guy, all right? But ultimately, he at least I don't know if he threw this or if he lost legit. I didn't quite know.
He says repeatedly
Yeah.
that he was trying to hold on.
Yeah, I think he just got beat here. So that was 46 minutes 39 seconds was the total time this competition took.
Lord, that's no pressure cooker.
That's no pressure cooker. Like you could almost fit this on an episode. Almost, it's like if you started it earlier, but I don't know. I guess this
You could
works.
like if they ever do like a wall competition, they could technically just go, hey, you know what? We're using it for a veto. And they start the episode with, here is the, we started the veto competition. These are the people who got picked. This is the beginning of it. It just started. And that's the opening sequence. And as they're on the wall, they can flash back to all the stuff that happened that they need to do. Right. That would be an interesting narrative. We're seeing
that's kind of what we got, but not like sort of. It's I don't know. It's not as good.
But I mean, for a veto episode, it would be interesting.
True. So I thought like Taylor's win here was cool to watch. She had a great reaction. She was very celebratory. There's definitely some people less excited, namely Jasmine here.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like that. That's not completely excited.
Oh, Jasmine was not excited at all. You know who also wasn't excited?
Alyssa
wasn't excited.
No. Nor was Indy. But the Taylor HOH begins.
It wasn't shown. They might show it in the next episode. But when Alyssa came, when Taylor came down after winning, Kyle went to hug her. And then when Kyle hugged her, Alyssa said, and it was picked up, okay, that's enough.
Oh, that was in the episode.
Yep.
Yeah. She goes, okay, that's enough. I wish I should have pulled it.
Because that's coming up. That is coming up. So that might be an interesting part to play.
Okay, she was almost jealous of Taylor taking Kyle from her,
which is ridiculous. Like I don't know where these people are. Where they're like little children. Yeah. Alyssa is also of the belief that men and women can't be friends.
Like platonically, like it was only like what about gay men and women?
That's different. But men and women cannot be.
So straight men and straight women can't be friends,
or gay men can't be friends, or
gay men with other gay men.
Yes.
Anybody you could have a chance. You can't be friends with anybody you could have sex with.
Yes.
Right.
Daniel also agreed with this as well.
So, I don't know if I subscribe to that philosophy.
I don't subscribe to that philosophy whatsoever.
Yeah. But, who am I to tell them how to live their life? Anyway, so, Taylor was going on here.
Kyle certainly would can agree to that because what's Kyle dealing with?
Kyle's got what?
What's Kyle dealing with?
I can't help it. She's so hot.
And what does her hotness?
I'm just too horny, dude. Let's have some fun. Hell yeah, I want to come.
Okay.
Don't shut the door.
Taylor, she even broke the HOH like key string here, and she was so excited. It was nice to see her. It was very jubilant. Exciting to see. It, like people like Jasmine, not happy. Nor was a lot of other people here, and it's like Jasmine's just like she's expecting, I think, to be targeted here, but I guess she happens to also be black, so therefore Taylor's made this decree that that's not the game she's going to play. So that's like just a kind of a random good fortune for Jasmine.
You are not fond of that decision at all.
I guess I'm not. I guess I like everyone's like, I respect that, and I guess I'm struggling with it a bit. I kind of understand it, but you're not. It's I don't know. That's the thing. That's what Taylor's got to make that decision for herself, right? Ultimately, is like what's her moral compass saying. I think it's somebody on the outside can say, no, you got to be cutthroat and you got to be ruthless and you're only can only be one winner. So
let's say if Taylor was a cop and Jasmine was a cop, and Taylor says, I can't put on a block. I can't do that to another cop. Right?
Less forgivable. This is about, I think this is maybe like the only thing I like can kind of sympathize with. And even then it's not the decision I would make, I think, if I was Taylor, but I'm not Taylor. So I can't speak for that. Right. And like her, she's obviously got a different life and different motivations about what how she wants to be perceived after this as well. And the example she wants to set for as a cast member. Right. So, I think, but I understand the Turner counter argument where like,
Jasmine's so annoying. We need to get rid of this woman.
Yeah. Right. Like,
She's trying to protect her promises to the same side of the house that has been dogging on her for over a month. I was the one who put my neck out on the line just for you, and now you want to put me up on the block next to Terrence. It just makes no sense.
Right.
And I think Turner needs to really pull Taylor away from everyone and like sit down and have like a really heart-to-heart regarding that, right? Because Turner is right. Turner's absolutely right. But technically both of them are right in terms of it's not like Taylor doesn't appreciate Turner and what Turner has done. At the same time, Turner made a decision and went with it. Taylor's making a decision and went with it as well.
Right. And at the end of the day, I respect that Taylor's the HOH here. And while she has to work with her alliance, and she eventually does do that here, it's a little bit of a bumpy road. And I think that, it's the other 6 members of the leftovers. I think if they had their druthers, they would get out Jasmine next. And of course, it's good for them if Taylor does it for them. Right. But maybe Taylor's like, no, I'm not going to take out Jasmine. And I think that's fair enough. I think Taylor can say, no, I'm going to target Terrence. Okay. But you can't I think this oh, well, I'm going to put up Turner. I'm going to put up Monty next to whoever. I think if you're this leftovers alliance, you're like, no, come on, we have to, you can't make promises to Indy and to Alyssa and to everybody and then put us up. That's not.
If Kyle was HOH, I'm pretty sure there would be pawns from the leftovers, right? Because he's not going to be putting up Jasmine and Indy. He's not. He's like, who is he putting up, Kyle, with the amount of promises he's made?
Yeah, I'm not saying Kyle would be amazing. But Kyle hasn't been HOH yet. Now Taylor is. So I'm just analyzing how I'm seeing Taylor's HOH play.
All I'm saying is, Taylor made promises and told everyone that she was going to put up Monty if she ever got the chance. People have been writing checks, right? All Big Brother long, and they haven't been HOH. And now all of a sudden, if her or Joseph or Kyle, if any of those 3, right, went up as HOH, they would have to have broken their promises.
Well, she's going to have to break a promise to someone here.
I know, and ultimately, I'm just thinking it's kind of hypocritical for Kyle and specifically Joseph, who have seemingly put themselves in such a great position, right, to disagree with this. Michael, Turner, and Monty have already cut their teeth and have already broken promises for the good of the leftovers, right? So I can understand those three. Right. But
and you also you see that I think that Joseph and Kyle, I think, are trying to have it too good for themselves. I think that specifically Michael and Brittany see it the most. I think that you see that in the episode tonight where they're like, oh, great, you get to be in the five swatters or whatever it is, right? You get to play like you're working with the other side of the house. So therefore you get to be in this nice middle position that gives you potential jury votes at the end. And I think that Michael is starting to kind of figure out, okay, when I start going after leftovers, what order am I going to get them out in? Right. And I think right now Kyle and Joseph are at the top of Michael's list.
They have to be. They have to
Right.
be. I just feel like, okay, what and yeah.
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Dave, once again, you're right.
You agree completely?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
There was some other stuff here in the episode. Where to start? Did you know that potentially Taylor and Joseph are in like a showmance?
Yes.
She's
That is-
obsessed with him not wearing a shirt.
He does have a lot of bumps. And you can see all those bumps without the shirt on.
True. He's got like a wrestler body here.
He does.
So do you think that there'll be a thing? Are you shipping them?
I'm not really a shipper.
You're not a shipper?
don't particularly ship people. So, look, I have Taylor in my draft. So I hope that, sure, why not do it? But please, the first chance you get, cut him. No, because one of the most important things about a showmance is who's going to cut whom, right?
Right.
If she betrays Joseph is the type of person who will respect her for it, right? But if Joseph gets the opportunity and cuts her, it's not like Taylor wouldn't respect him afterwards. It's different because it just goes in a long line of women who were cut by men in a showmance,
Right.
and the men was able to succeed. So you want to it's like, Dave, are you a feminist?
Yeah. Right.
Is my response to that. So I would love for Taylor to be able to get out of it, to get into it, get the advantages of it, and be able to move from it on, because I think that would earn some respect, not just with Joseph, but also with other leftovers, right? I think she needs to start playing better overall, but she needs to break some promises and to do things like that, because it's not even just the other side of the house that doesn't like her. I think the problem that she's also facing is that the leftovers don't necessarily respect her, right? They respect her as a person, but not as a player. They feel pity for her and what she's been through, and not actual admiration or respect of what she's done.
And I think watching this HOH now that she does have the power, like, emotionally I'm going for her, but intellectually tonight I had to go, oh, you're kind of playing like a more unrefined version of Big Brother, in my opinion, right? Like you're playing very rookie compared to like Michael and Monty and some other alliance members she has here, who I just think are a bit more savvy, right? And maybe I think Taylor could grow in this game if she played a second time. Maybe it would be different. But just tonight here, she was just a little bit too. She's almost too, like I said, too nice for this game. Too good.
Taylor's for Amazing Race, not for Big Brother. Taylor should not play. Like, I like Taylor. Taylor should not play this game again. She is not that type of player. You would have Michael is gonna come back again and play. No. You would have her on the Amazing Race.
Or the challenge.
Not even the challenge. Like, what has she shown in terms of comp wise that she would be on the challenge?
Well, she's fairly athletic. She won tonight.
Fairly athletic is. I think we can do better on the challenge, in my opinion. I think the Amazing Race, where you're like, oh, her dynamics with whomever she is with, she's an interesting, and I'm kind of going for it. You can see like people standing with her. It's like, I stand Taylor, but unless she can get cut some strategic teeth, I think this is a one and done appearance, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think she's gonna be a fan favorite after this. I wouldn't be if she doesn't win the season herself. Then I could see her being America's favorite.
Which walk away with the money, honey, and don't look back.
And never
in
look
my
back.
opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, just like you could see like Monty and also Turner, I think is worth mentioning. Like they were just kind of looking at her like, we don't want to say the wrong thing to her and get her to turn on us. But what she's proposing right now is not necessarily what I would like to do. Like Monty, for instance.
Girl, what the hell are we talking about right now?
That was Monty. Turner says to her in the episode, because she says, "Okay, I'm going to put up Turner and Terrence," because she's very open about playing on Terrence here. And Turner says, "Okay, but what if Terrence wins veto?"
Quick question: what would you do if Terrence won veto? Which he won't, but if he did,
replace them with Indy. Replace it.
Okay, maybe that doesn't work.
But that's good. That's like you can make a terrible plan and talk through the plan. That's why if you went half cocked, didn't mention it to anyone, and then went with a plan that made no sense, that's bad. But if you're there in a group and it's supposed to be a safe space or whatever, and you make a plan and he's like, that plan makes no sense, what you gonna do?
It is the worst Big Brother plan I have literally ever heard.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst. The worst is backdooring your own teammate or putting up Turner and Monty, and then someone from the other side wins veto and decides to keep the noms the same. That would be the worst.
Yeah, okay. But this is not good. It's still not good.
It's not
right.
It's not good, but it could be better.
Right.
Turner, Monty, nominees, done.
But then what if someone else won and they wouldn't use it?
That's the challenging part. Yeah.
Girl, what the hell are we
Yeah, talking about right now. How come the song of like I guess the light bulb going off in her head, Jaemeel, was the same sound of like Kyle's boner. When he says he's horny, or here we go.
I'm just too horny, dude.
Well, it's a little different, but it's kind of in the same ballpark.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that's the part of the episode where Monty and Turner and whatever, and like I don't think Taylor, if you were rooting for her to win the season, she's got a lot to learn still. I think if she's going to get to the end, there's still time. I'm not counting her out. What else? Also in this episode, there was some more stuff here with Indy and Joseph. I feel like this was a slow week and they couldn't really fit a lot in here. But Joseph was saying that
Indy is the crankiest roommate I've ever had.
Crankiest roommate. He was very afraid of waking her up, but she just wakes up and gets annoyed at Joseph. There's a segment here where he has to like sleep with he has to put all his freshly washed sheets. And he puts all the pillowcases on, and she's like, "I can hear everything you're doing." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then, but the blanket on the top here, Jaemeel, is wet, and he has to sleep with a wet blanket.
Yeah, this has been an ongoing thing throughout the entire season, where she just complains about if you are in a room and you do anything that she's there and she's sleeping, she'll wake up and start yelling at people. Kyle and Thing were making out one time, and she yelled at them too because it was too loud.
They didn't really show. I feel like they could have this segment didn't really work for me on the show, and I think that they were kind of kind to Indy in this edit based on what you're telling me, because she was kind of just shown as being kind of muttering under her breath, kind of complaining under her breath, at least with this Joseph sequence. And Joseph almost seems to be trying to be nice, but nothing he can do is quite good enough for Indy, which is, I think, so we're getting a bit of the truth, but not the full picture by the sounds of it.
And Indy is smitten by Joseph, very smitten.
Oh yeah.
So
so is that another reason she's jealous of Taylor, perhaps?
yes. So it's been floated around that there's the showman's brewing, and people have asked Joseph about Indy, and like, what about you and Indy? He's like, no, me and Indy will be friends. It's fine. It's like, just friends. Like, yeah, just friends, right? And Jasmine relayed the information back, but is like, wait, do you think something's up with Taylor and Joseph? He's like, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Oh yes.
Mary Bass saying she's not liking Indy at all.
She's not a likable person on this show at all.
I like her diaries just because of the way she talks, because
It kind of surprised me.
Surprise me. It's very musical, it's very singy-songy.
Yes.
But I don't think I necessarily would be pals with Indy. I don't know.
In terms of strategic ability, Taylor never has to worry about being the worst. Not with this one around.
And if I'm HOH next week, Taylor may be my pawn as well.
She might go after Taylor.
No, but she said she might be her pawn as well. I don't think that's exactly what she meant.
Yeah, she didn't say target. She said pawn. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so there's a whole scene here where Indy goes to talk to. Well, actually, before that, we have a scene here where basically, like, Taylor's like, okay, what do I do here, right? And she's talking to the Leftovers Alliance, and they're basically like, you need to put up Indy, right? If you're like Terrence, you definitely have to put up, and putting up Indy is the next best thing. And if you're not going to put up Jasmine, which that's fine if you want to put her up, but if one of these people takes themselves off the block, then you got to really think about who's going to go up next to her.
Yeah,
or him, depending on who comes down, right? Like we were saying, like, worst case scenario is for this Leftovers Alliance is like Jasmine wins the veto, she takes down Indy, and so really your only option is maybe to put up Alyssa there, right? Yep. Alyssa next to Terrence. Because I don't think anybody's gonna. Terrence would have to pull himself off the block. I can't imagine someone's gonna do it for him, right? So. Anyway, and so ultimately, like, we get Taylor's nominations in this episode. She ultimately, she does put up Indy. Indy's pissed, right? And
of course she is.
But like, I don't know. I just think Taylor was dumb to have made these promises. I think that the way Taylor handled the conversation with Indy was a little like, actually, Taylor would have tell you so.
That did not go how I wanted it to go.
Yeah, it did not go how she wanted to go.
As long as she understands where she screwed up, that's good. Yeah. There's still hope. If you're delusional.
She's like, I don't think we're gonna ruffle any feathers if I put you on the block. People will go, that makes sense, right? And she's like, I'm protecting you, Indy.
Which, you know what? If a veto gets pulled and she's the replacement, that's a lot more danger than being the initial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was mentioned there was a moment here in this episode tonight where Taylor like goes up and like almost like Vanna White style here, or was just like she did like almost like that show that Howie Mandel was on. Like, what was that one with the briefcases?
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal. It was almost like she was a Deal or No Deal one there, where she like did like a little walk up and she turned the keys, probably from her pageant training and stuff like that. But it was noticeable. Heel toe. It was kind of like it had a real bounce to it. All right. And so she puts up where is it?
Indy and DJ Showtime.
So I think these were
stupid hat. Stupid.
You're still not with the hat?
That hat. The hat looks dumb. Oh. The hat looks too small for his head.
He doesn't want you to hear. He doesn't want to hear it.
It's you know what? It's like if Rocky Balboa had that stupid hat from the first movie.
You know your boy DJ Showtime always has a plan.
Showtime.
Stupid. I don't like this man.
He's hard to root for, and he's just like kind of like deflated here. He's got no fight in him.
He has a bag full of hats, I bet. Like he packed a bag that just has hats.
Yeah, he's got a hat bag on top of his other things. That's part of his brand, man.
Brand. Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, also in this speech here Taylor gives, she like calls out Monty. She kind of like gives Monty the eyes, like making it seem like they're targeting each other, or she's like that she's not with Monty, obviously. And I think that's fine, but I don't know. I think like Monty's ultimately going to cut Taylor first. Is my prediction here.
Not if Michael could do anything about it.
Well, Mike, it's right. Very right.
Michael's like, can I now? Can I?
Yeah. Because Monty, especially after last week, where a lot of people were saying, "Let's go after Monty, let's go after Monty." Like he's very anti certain people, and he just wants to see Indy, Jasmine, Alyssa, all the people who were saying, "Let's get him out." And so he has a cockiness to him here. I think that ultimately Monty will be blindsided this season by somebody. Yep. He's not going to see it. He's not going to see it coming until it's too late.
Well, his path to an end doesn't necessarily need a social component because he's just seen as this big threat that if he makes it to the end, it's like, well, he didn't need to have a social game. He was such a huge threat that the fact that he was able to survive this long is a plus to him. Whereas, despite having a big target on her back, if Taylor makes it to end as it is right now, it's going to be more like she was dragged there as opposed to she earned her way there. Like
Taylor?
Yeah. If Taylor made it to the end right now, it would be more of a case that she was dragged there, right?
Even with her HOH win?
Even with her HOH win. Right now, once again, people pity her. They don't necessarily respect her, right? If Monty made it to the end and he didn't win a single competition except maybe part 2 of the final HOH, right?
Yeah.
People would say that Monty was such a huge threat, and it is amazing how he was able to survive despite having that huge target on his back, right? That is a different. People respect Monty, right? They don't respect Taylor.
I think Brittany's face here characterizes, while they were talking up in the HOH room, exactly how the alliance feels about Taylor. It's a little, oh no!
It's like, oh honey, we need to talk on the side.
Yeah, like maybe we could work on some things here, and it's. I have some concerns. Taylor.
We need to workshop this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if she had
yeah. If it could be, something like that. It's just completely uncomfortable. This is this is when Taylor was suggesting, like, why don't I put up Monty and Turner? And she's like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh, that's a great picture. That's a great pull.
Yeah. That was a moment. When I watched the episode, you see it really clearly too. Okay, so what else, Jaemeel, in this episode?
That's it.
Well, I also noticed this. After the nominations, Indy was riding around piggyback style on Joseph, and I could not help but think that this is what happened. Remember when Christmas Abbott was trying to do ride around on that like, cowboy?
Maybe I can break my leg and Joseph will be my thing.
She's like, I'll get a cute scooter that will make a sound. A thing.
I can get a cute scooter.
There. I was really surprised.
I never trusted her 100%.
Yeah.
Me and Taylor, we don't have like a really good relationship. It kind of surprised me.
Whose fault is that? It's yours, Indy.
Indy's just trying to like make her way on the show. I think ultimately she's not like I think here to play Big Brother. I think she's just making it week to week. She's more interested to be on a TV show. I think more than anything. That's my read on Indy. I don't think she's here to win Big Brother. I think she's here to survive for as long as possible.
I agree.
So who would you rather see go out this week, Terrence or Indy? If you had to,
Terrence.
And just because he's such like a.
I think that if you can get Terrence is such a wild card that Taylor being responsible for Indy going is going to rub Jasmine and Alyssa the wrong way, right? And I think that will put her in the crosshairs of that fly swatter, real or not real. But Terrence is still like, people still have misgivings about Terrence, about how he was acting with Daniel and how he like just completely ignored the rest of the house just to hang out with this dude. And then plus Terrence has been saying some crappy things in general, not just about Taylor, but overall that a lot of the house members don't like. So he's not necessarily the most beloved person. So if he's God, Taylor can at least get someone out of the house and not really get blood on their hands.
Yeah, I would say that like Terrence has been a disappointment. I think getting him out of the house is probably better. I don't think he couldn't win. I think Indy's got a better chance to win.
Then Terrence definitely.
Yeah, I don't think Indy has that much of a shot to win, right? So
that just goes to show.
Yeah. Do you have any spoilers, Jaemeel? About
I do have
up?
spoilers. We already have the veto competition.
Okay, we're gonna get into that shortly. If you don't want to know, get out of here. But we're gonna talk about what's coming up. What we can expect for this Wednesday. Get out of here. You're gone. But we hope you'll be back on Wednesday. See our coverage of that episode. That will be coming up on, I guess it'll be August 17th and 18th. Jeff's birthday coming up this week, Jaemeel.
Oh yeah.
He's on the 18th.
His wedding is just before his birthday, or his birthday's just before the wedding.
The wedding's next, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. So, coming up very soon. All right, so we're getting into our spoiler section. If you don't want to know, get out of here. But let's talk about it. All right.
So, Vito's been played. The people on who played in the video are the HOH and the two nominees, which is Taylor, Terrence, and Indy. And then our people who were picked to play were Alyssa, Jasmine, and Kyle. And and the competition was the
no Michael. So Michael can't win another one here.
Michael cannot win. He is safe. He can break the record another time. Okay. This one is was it Yankee Swap competition?
Oh, okay. That one. Yeah, okay. Right.
So ultimately, the winner of this competition is Kyle.
Kyle
wins.
Oh.
No, wait, what?
Punishments. Indy got the leotard punishment.
She got a leotard punishment.
Yes.
Okay. Please.
Please. I've been through a lot in my life already. I don't want to do this.
Okay. Jasmine won the trip to London, but she won it and does not know where London is. She's like, is that in France?
What?
Taylor has a punishment where she's chained to someone for, I think, 48 hours.
Okay.
And I think she's going to be chained with Joseph.
Oh, well, that will just get their showmans going.
Yes. And so drama that came from it is Taylor made a deal with Alyssa for safety. So because of that, Alyssa took the trip that Taylor had instead of going for the veto.
Okay.
Right? Which did not make Taylor very happy about the situation at all. Right? So with Alyssa, because Alyssa screwed over Taylor basically with the trip.
What if Alyssa had got the veto? What difference does it make? Or if Kyle has the veto, what's the difference?
Taylor might have still had the trip.
Oh, the trip. Whatever. Like,
additionally, people were not happy with Jasmine this week because Jasmine kept complaining to every single person before the veto about please don't give her punishment because it's her birthday this week.
right.
And she doesn't
I
want
want two muffins.
she doesn't want to spend her birthday with a punishment.
Yeah.
Somebody bit a big old chunk out of my muffin.
So people were like, she is constantly complaining about everything. She literally went to every single person and said, don't give me a punishment. It's my birthday. Right? And she's like, she asks too much and she does too little. Isn't her foot fixed by now? It's been forever since she hurt her foot, and it seems like she's not recovering at all. So Taylor's pissed. And if Kyle does take Terrence down or Indy down, he might just put up Alyssa. Taylor might just put up Alyssa.
Well, Kyle has no good. Well, okay, I guess if Kyle wants to play like he's with this five swatters, then I guess he would have. But he really he can make something up. He's been sort of
yeah. So
like he hasn't voted with them a bunch of times already. Like he's lied to them already a bunch of times.
So if he, for whatever stupid reason, takes down Terrence, then Taylor might just put up Alyssa. She's just that fed up with Alyssa and her comments after her HOH, plus this recent mistreatment of her after her, giving her some mercy to be mistreated and take the trip. Taylor isn't happy, and a lot of people also agree. It's like, sure, the leftovers are like, sure, I'll target Alyssa. To which Kyle says he might not use the veto if Alyssa is the intended target.
The best thing is probably for them just to leave the nominations the same. Like for most parties in the House, vote out Terrence, move on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But like
Jasmine, from Mary Bass, Brittany and Michael are mad at Taylor for wanting to make moves for TV and not her game. So,
but what is her game though?
Well, maybe they're saying she doesn't have a game, and this is more of like what she thinks is going to look good on the show. She's playing that kind of a game.
If it's about her choice for not Jasmine, I think that they're not coming at a place of understanding regarding that. There is more than enough people they can kind of target.
I agree. Yeah, like it doesn't have to be what they want, but I don't think Michael especially wants to slow down. He's here to play hard the whole way to the end, right? And so anything but
that's not necessarily Taylor's game though.
No, and I think ultimately Michael's also savvy enough to know that he has to, he can only be so forthright with her.
Yeah.
But
if it would help him out if Taylor accelerated some people, like getting rid of some people like Jasmine, right? As opposed to a non-starter like Terrence, because Jasmine is connective tissue to people in the game. For like Terrence to the Fly Swatters, that's his entryway, right? So you get rid of her, then there's basically Terrence by himself again still, and then the rest of the five swatters are the girls. They are kind of separate on their own, and there's none of them really that has the ability to like galvanize a force against the other side. So I understand why they want
the closest is Jasmine, and that's basically what Brittany says in this episode tonight. Was like without Jasmine here, like that other side will be really depleted. Like since they don't have a mirror anymore, they don't have Nicole, who were like the head of the snake or kind of the brains of the operation. it has really gone downhill. And Jasmine's thinks she's trying to rally something together, but this other side, they're not only are they not likable, Jaemeel, but they're very not good at this, right? They were just numbers for other players who were better, who are now gone. So it's like, and if you take Jasmine, who's the smartest of the bunch in terms of gameplay, and she's not even that smart, but Indy and Alyssa I don't know what game Indy and Alyssa are playing. Especially Alyssa.
Alyssa's playing housewife. I don't want to say housewife, but she has been distracted in this game. Yeah. And she's a little bit too concerned about what Kyle is doing or not doing with her, as opposed to how is she going to get to the end.
I heard something. Okay, now we're in the spoiler section. Something comes up on my Twitter feed that her and Kyle, Jaemeel, went all the way in the have-not room.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, that's what Twitter's saying. That's what do you think about that?
That's their decision. I would love to hear what Kyle's mom says about that.
Kyle's mom will be a grandmother soon, and it's going to be great.
I'm just too horny, dude.
Yeah.
Joseph telling me that Alyssa might have a situationship outside of the show kind of hits me. Dude, can't be doing this. Like, get away from me.
What happened to that?
Her situationship?
Yeah.
She'll tell you the exact same thing. She's horny.
Ooh. She's horny. She's, that's what you got to go for here.
Maybe she had some cider, some leftover cider, and got a little freaky.
Yeah. What would be a good one here?
Kyle did use a power veto on me. It makes me just over the moon happy. Is this true that Kyle wouldn't want to save me? Is our relationship even real in this?
Is it even real?
Is it even real? Well, if they went all the way, it's as real as it could be. That just tells
and then
you
I met Kyle, and he is like the most amazing person ever, and I'm willing to risk it all in this house just to kiss this man, and he is the best kisser ever.
Sure. Sure.
Sorry. He is best ever.
Yeah. No.
Anyways,
that's really it. We gotta see what happens in terms of what's gonna occur with the actual veto ceremony. But it could be Alyssa gone. It could be Terrence gone. I think it's going to most likely be Terrence. Nom's going to stay the same. It's going to be.
I think they're more likely. It sounds like they're more likely to stay the same unless something really changes between now and Wednesday. But I can't imagine that much.
It just makes it easier for everyone involved, including Taylor. Taylor can't put up Monty because the nominations were kept the same. Indy might be a little bit angry with Kyle about Nom staying the same and not pulling her down. But then if Kyle has a conversation with Alyssa and says, hey, I don't want any, I don't think she'll do it, but there might be pressure from the other side of the house to put you up instead of Monty. So I'm not going to take a chance. I don't want what happened to Michael to happen to me. So I'm not using the power of veto and keeping you safe. And at least when the fly swatters have a conversation, Alyssa can back up Kyle's decision and say, hey, we have enough votes to get Terrence down, right? To get Terrence to leave and keep Indy, right? So technically on all sides is kind of protected.
Yeah, I think that it sounds like this is probably going to be wrapped up. It will probably just be a quiet week where Terrence goes out here and we'll be moving on to week 7, which is the split. We know it's going to be the split, and they don't know it's coming. They don't know that they'll be split into 2 groups of 5. There's going to be 2 HOHs, 2 evictees. These two groups of 5 won't see each other after this. So, like we had said, if Terrence goes out here, we're going to have 5 women, 5 men left in the game. And potentially that could be a play, or maybe it won't be.
Producers are like, come on, keep it the same. Keep it the same. They want it. They want Terrence gone. Terrence's arc is over. His arc
what
is over.
Arc? What's their arc? Like he kind of liked Daniel for like a day?
And he had his signature DJ thing, they were able to promote that. So when they do BB Comics, they actually have something for him, as opposed to the Hat Man was, I guess, the closest thing. Turner's going to be the Rug Man with a muffin being, cut in half.
He's the muffin murderer.
Muffin murderer, right? There's going to be they have Terrence's plot in terms of enough information so that his BB Comics make sense.
DJ Showtime always has a couple of tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, his comic is done. We know he'll be spinning records. You're right. The arc is over. Okay, guys, let's get out of here. Thanks for covering this episode and this week 6 nominations episode here on Sunday, August 14th, 2022. Again, we'll be back on the 17th to talk about the rest of the week, and the 18th as well. You should check out our other channels, including here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. Sorry, before I move to the other channels, this channel we've talked about Survivor this year, Jaemeel. Survivor 42. Also, we had Big Brother Canada 10 before that. So we've been talking about lots of different shows here on this channel. Plus, we have Live Long in Podcast, a Star Trek themed channel where we talk about Star Trek all the time. Just like Taylor, Live Long in Podcast. Monday night Star Trek Enterprise. Right now we're gonna be talking about the episode. It's called The Catwalk tomorrow.
Ooh,
Jaemeel.
But not Catwalk like the white TV show.
I hope it is. I'm probably going to make a lot of Catwalk references on the podcast, and I don't think anybody else is going to be the right age to know what I'm talking about. Jody and Kevin aren't going to know.
Reach out to Nev Campbell, see if she's interested in joining the podcast. She was she's got some free time because Scream 6 isn't happening for her. So
right, and it's going to have that guy, the captain from the Valiant Red Squad.
Red Squad.
He was on Catwalk too.
Yep.
So anyway, we're going to be talking about that. We're not doing Deep Space Nine this week, but normally on Tuesdays we have Star Trek Deep Space Nine at 9 rewatch. Our next episode is called Empok Nor, but we'll be talking about that the week after next, as we have an engagement this coming Tuesday. So that will be on August 23rd, and then coming up on August 25th is the return of Star Trek Lower Decks season 3. What's going to happen with Captain Freeman? She's been arrested for the murder of Pac-Led Planet. We have to see if she gets out of that pickle there.
Red alarm. Red
alarm. Did you know, Jaemeel, that on Live Long and Podcast we now have a TikTok channel? And
are you doing dances on there?
Not yet, but we're working on it. We got TikTok now. We got Instagram.
Ooh.
Right. We had some new videos. Our best moments have started going up. Sam was liking it. He likes the best of videos. We had a best a couple of things that went up already. But
best, I guess, Mott videos. Do some bet Motts.
Yeah. Sam would like the best of Sam comments video.
Oh, Sam, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a lot of comments to sift through, but we'll figure out. So there was a new one up there, like that time that David and I were in Nova Scotia, a little bit too drunk. I tried to do the podcast with Enterprise with them. That's been put up there.
There's been a couple of Dave is intoxicated running the pod. Whenever you see me start laughing uncontrollably, that's basically because Dave is in this situation.
There's a couple of our long enough timeline, enough podcasts. You're gonna have a few, or you're gonna have a few moments. So it's
Commander.
We got some great things. So check out Live Long a Podcast, our Star Trek themed channel. All kinds of great stuff going on over there. And Trivial Debates, our monthly show. We are on movies, TV, sports, and more. Our next episode coming up this coming Sunday, August 21st. We got Chris Murphy hosting, along with Jody Simpson, Davin Skellhorn, and Chris Seymour competing. This will be a great one. We got some really interesting debates. This will be at 10 a.m. Eastern live. Check that out. Speaking of Davin Skellhorn, he's got his own channel called Locutors of Trek, a Star Trek themed channel. They're on tonight. Yeah, they're back. I saw Dave and Adam were on tonight. They were having a whole bunch of different discussions. He also has his other one called X-Rated, X-Men the Animated Series Rewatch podcast. He does with Andre. I was just on this most recent one this past Tuesday. We're going through episode by episode. They're up to season 3. They're in the Phoenix Saga now. Check that out over on X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Series Rewatch, or his other channel, Locutors of Trek. Let's talk about fighting games with Sam Jerka, also known as Eamon Mader, and The Hellbound podcast. Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn every Wednesday, a different horror podcast. There's merch, Jaemeel. Did you know?
I know he has a shirt.
I'm like, we don't have merch.
Well, I have merch, but I don't have merch for Live Long and Podcast and Super Mader Brothers.
I don't, or
Super
Trivial
Mader
Debates for that
Brothers.
matter. I've never made a merch. I've never even printed anything with these on it. So maybe that will change in the near future. Maybe, you know, we're on TikTok now. We're gonna blow up. So get ready, and we'll be here, guys. So for this next one, did I forget anything?
Nope, I think you got everyone.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna get out of here. What's the best quote to go? Let's. Yeah. Okay. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Jaemeel, for being here, and hopefully we'll have Jeff Mader back with us in some time. All right. Oh, this is my favorite. When Lissa was like, "So did you not want to use the veto on me?" And he was like, "Yeah." Oh wait, no, what?
You're like, so we're keeping them the same, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said.
No, wait, what?